Some of the communications you might get from Social Security can at the very least be confusing and sometimes downright scary. And if you don't understand how to navigate those letters, you may actually change the way you're getting your benefit or the strategy that you have, which could potentially cost you thousands of dollars. In this video, we will help you to understand some of those communications and what you should do when you get them. Hi, my name is Mark Singer, founder of Your Retirement Authority and president for 30 years of Safe Harbor Retirement Planning. If you're interested in getting up-to-date, timely information about Social Security and how to maximize your retirement income, subscribe to our channel and click the link for the notifications bell so you can be alerted to when we post new videos. Let me share with you my screen and we'll start talking about some of the topics and some of those scary letters. So we had an experience with a client where 6 months after she filed a restricted application for her divorced spouse benefit, she got a letter from Social Security telling her that if she were to switch to claiming off her own to get to her own record, she could get a higher monthly benefit. The reality was that that information was actually misleading because in the long run, she would get much more money available to her as a result of the restricted application. But the real moral of the story is you will sometimes get letters that can be contrary to what you have decided you wish for your strategy, your claiming strategy for Social Security. But they're not aware of what your projections are, and they just may be sending something out that at the moment looks proper. But again, remember, the Social Security personnel cannot get you and cannot project for you or guide you over the long term. So it's important to get somebody who can help you to work through some of these letters, and we'll go through 3 of these situations today. The first example is when a child turns 18. When a child is no longer entitled to dependent benefits upon turning 18 or finishing high school if later, the parent can get a scary letter essentially saying, if you saved any money for the child, you should return it to us unless you have already made other plans for us handling it. The money you will need to return includes saved and invested benefits, interest earned, money you have left over from any checks we have sent you, any checks you might receive after the date of the letter. It then goes on and on to describe how to pay them back. Sounds very scary, right? The idea here is that Social Security wants to make sure that when a minor turns 18, any saved benefits are handed over to the beneficiary. But for the most part, this letter can be ignored. Again, the main concern here is making sure that the child has been taken care of. But ironically, it's the parent who's using their own funds to meet the child's basic living expenses and stashing the child's benefits away for the child's future, who is the most alarmed by this letter. But if you've been doing your own annual accounting with Social Security and saving the funds in an account with the child's name on it, you have nothing to worry about. Incidentally, to avoid any confusion about unused benefits, it might be a good idea for the parent, you, to use the child's benefits for ongoing living expenses and put your own funds into college savings. Again, it's important here to recognize what the intent of this letter is and not to be concerned about it or go into Social Security and say, how much do I owe you? Again, make sure you understand when you get this letter what it is, and if you truly don't understand it, find your advisor or accountant or somebody who can help you to guide you through what it is you should be aware of at this point. The second bullet point that I want to share with you is what we call the private retirement account. It's another letter that's supposed to be helpful, but ends up being confusing and a little scary. It starts out saying, we're writing to tell you that you, or the worker whose Social Security number appears at the top of this form may be entitled to some retirement benefits from a private employer. Also, your family or the worker's family may be entitled to retirement or survivor benefits. It goes on to say that these potential benefits are not Social Security benefits. And it says, quote, if you want to apply for these retirement benefits or have any questions, you should contact the plan administrator. All this letter is doing is relaying information about a qualified retirement plan balance as reported by your employer that went to the IRS, which in turn reported it to Social Security. This letter can actually be very helpful to a person who may have vested retirement account benefits from an old job, which he or she has forgotten about. Social Security is saying that now it has been reached the retirement age, you can contact that plan administrator. In most cases, you really don't need to be reminded. So this is just one of those letters that you can ignore. By the way, there are 567 different claiming strategies, so I understand how actually putting together your strategy or getting the communication from Social Security may be confusing. If you're interested in learning more, our next video on how to avoid some of the pitfalls we will announce, and you can click on the link below. This was generated by some of the feedback that we've gotten, where we've had some people who were confused or just had part of the information, and making the wrong choice could have cost them thousands of dollars. So I want to help you to avoid some of those pitfalls. So again, if you're interested, click on the link below to see when the next video is coming out and what we will cover. So let's go back to the screen and continue to go on talking about some of those scary letters you might get from Social Security. So as you can see, we're going to talk about the annual COLA letter, the cost of living adjustment. The letter is sent to all Social Security benefits in November of each year. It gives the percentage benefits will increase based on the rise in the cost of living and shows the new benefit amount before and after deductions for Medicare premiums. If the Medicare income related monthly adjusted amount, the IRMA, applies, the letter goes into great detail as to the basis for the IRMA, listing the tax year used and your filing status and adjusted gross income. It can all be very confusing. It then goes on to explain what to do if your income has gone down. It lists some of the life-changing events that are grounds for appeal and explains exactly what to do and well. As I say, it's extremely detailed and can be very confusing. It also gives you a list of things that need to be reported. Tell us if you're married or remarried. Tell us a child who gets benefits and no longer lives with you, and several other items. It talks about many of life's changes. There's a bunch of stuff other stuff at the end of the letter, but what to do if you suspect Social Security fraud, how to help prevent identity theft, etc., etc. We strongly encourage that if you get this letter and you're confused, make sure that you're checking your claim letter, check your benefit amount, and if you're still confused, find that person, that guide, your accountant or advisor who can help you out with that. The final example that I will talk about is the restricted application. And this is a strategy that is complex, but can, depending upon the situation that you're in, if you were born before January 2nd, 1954, help you to maximize your benefits. But the Social Security personnel don't always recognize that you've chosen this strategy, and they may send you a letter saying that you could actually get more of a benefit today by changing the strategy. You may claim on your own worker's record and get more. Do not be confused. It's the example I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Make sure that if you have gone forward and done the restricted application, to ignore this letter, because again, the Social Security personnel can only give you what you can maximize today, not project out over your lifetime. I hope this was helpful to you. Not only is it confusing with over 567 different strategies to figure out, but then the follow-up communications can be confusing as well, which could potentially cost you a lot of money. If you're interested in finding out how to customize a retirement income plan just for you, where you can figure out how to maximize your Social Security benefit for you and your spouse and your family, and figure out how to maximize your retirement income, we can customize a report for you. All you have to do is click on the Become My Client link to find out more about this process. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this useful, subscribe to our channel, tell a friend. Make sure that you're subscribed to the notifications bell as well to make sure that you're alerted to when new videos are posted. Again, thank you for watching, and we truly hope that you enjoy the retirement journey.